So what I'm going to do now is we're getting into the more details about Agile. This is nice, this is high level, but now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the heart of it. So we're going to talk about doing the right work. There are two things. There's doing the right work and doing the work right. Yeah? So what work do you do? How do you do it? So this bit is, it's all the time, isn't it? Yeah, and then we have too much work, pressure to do, come on, more, and you just get flooded with stuff. Yeah, and of course, almost every team has some of these. So I'd like you to put up your hands if one of these is your situation, one or more. Can I have a show of hands? Yeah, one or more. Yeah, something you recognize there, right? Right. So. Now, here are some concepts that I want you to absorb a little bit, and then we'll see where it fits in. So Dr. Liebig was one of the great thinkers, and this is his first statement that has a huge impact on how we think and work. Growth is controlled not by the total resources available, but by the scarcest resource. Okay? Keep that in mind now. Where the most limited number of people, where you have the scarce resource, that's where your focus should be. The next one, you can only deliver as fast as the slowest part of your process. Yeah? And this is Eliyahu Goldratt. So he's like the father of, let's say, operational production systems. And he did a lot of research, 60s, 70s, etc. And at any given time, there is at least one constraint which limits the system. So there'll always be a bottleneck. So imagine there's 3 roundabouts, yeah? And the traffic is flowing. And in the morning, at roundabout number 2, there's a traffic jam. Big traffic jam. So you say, you know what we do? We'll build a flyover on number 2. So you build a flyover. What happens to the traffic jam? It moves to number 3. Now number 3 is the jam. We build another flyover. Yeah? At every point, at any process, there is always one bottleneck that determines the speed at which you can go. The trick is for you to find that bottleneck and tune it so that the bottleneck is where you want it to be. Yeah? So these are the principles behind how we're going to apply Agile. And there was Mr. Little. And this is Little's law. So what he says here is that if you want to increase the cycle time is the time something takes to go from here to here. The request comes in, the request is fulfilled. How long did that take? That is known as cycle time. If you want to increase the cycle time, make it go faster, you have to reduce the work in progress. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like if you do more, you will get more done. It doesn't mean that. You have to manage the on-ramp. So sometimes in big highways, you'll see the side roads when they join, they'll have traffic lights, red, green, and they let one car on at a time. If you put too much in there, you will block it. So you have to remove constraints and don't overburden. So this picture says it all. If you do too much in the pipe and jam it, 100% utilization, everybody working 100%, one more project, yeah, you will get less done in the same given time. So in 3 months, you will do 3 balls, whereas here, same number of balls, same size of the pipe, in 3 months you'll do 6. And it almost doesn't sound right. It's like an oxymoron. Your brain doesn't comprehend it. So try it when you're writing your birthday cards and you're inviting people for your birthdays. Yeah? So you write the card, all the cards, 10 cards. Then you write all the envelopes. Then you put the stamp and you time it. Then you do it another way. You write the card, write the envelope, put the stamp. Write the card, write the envelope, put the stamp. And you time it. The second way will always be about 30% faster than the first. Seems strange, isn't it? How is that possible? That's because of a thing called switching loss. So as you change your focus, you lose productivity. So we are not good multitaskers. It's just a myth. You want to do one thing at a time and finish it. And if you stay focused on this, then you get more done in a given period of time. Yeah. So understanding this principle is very important. So I'm going to skip that. So over here, you've got the mission and vision. Every company has that at the high level. Then they have the goals and the strategic initiatives. That's your strategy. Now this flows down into the funnel, into your programs, and then they're prioritized and they're ready to start work. That is called doing the right work. And down below, as the bottom of this, is called doing the work right. So the work comes through and then the teams pull the work. If you push the work onto them, that's like that girl drinking from the fire hose. It's just, yeah. So you have to allow teams to pull. This optimum amount of how much this team can do is called the work in progress limit, the WIP limit. Yeah. So this is the job of Agile, of management, of leadership, to manage the funnel. Yeah. Align the strategy with the work, manage the funnel, visualize it. I showed you the wall at the beginning, so you can see the work flowing through till the point that delivery starts. Now, how does it apply to operations? I'll show you later. And over morning coffee, I had 3 requests already. Yeah, but my team is distributed and we're virtual, so how do we do it? How many of you all have that question in your mind? Yeah, almost everyone. It's difficult, but we're going to talk about that. So, so there are basically 3 practices here. So the strategy practice, the discover and the program practice is the same. So I'll show you that. And the operational practice. You've got 3 patterns that we're going to learn. And the practices of how to do that agile, how to do that agile, managing the funnel, how to do your work agile, whether it is program work or operational work. That's it. Everything agile from the top down. Yeah. So we're going to learn how to take small batch sizes. These are the characteristics. Small pieces of work. You don't want programs that are, a team of 50 and 60 and doing, you have to break it down because then you can be more flexible with it. You want a single prioritized backlog. If you've got 5 or 10 customers coming in, you want the backlog prioritized, using the customers or using the product owner or using somebody, that the teams don't have to worry about the prioritization. It has been prioritized. You want to allow the teams to pull the work. So it's not the manager or somebody just pushing the work on them. Do more, do more, do more. You will do less. So we're not talking about working harder here. We're talking about working smarter. And by working smarter, you actually do more. Sounds strange. And you're having fun while doing it. How about that? Yeah, it cannot get better. And I tell you, once you start working agile, you will never go back. Never go back to any other way. So, small, stable, cross-functional teams. You want the teams to be smaller. You want them to be stable, to know each other, and to start working. And cross-functional. So there's the product owner, the customers, the people who are delivering it, the testers, but also the governance people. All these people who manage and audit your process, they should be there too. So we're going to show you how you get them involved. Yeah. And lastly, loosely coupled, tightly aligned. You want the teams to have some flexibility to move, but all going in the same direction. So it's very important to try and focus your teams rather than cutting your teams this way. Team 1 only analysts, teams 2 only designers, team 3 only. You want to make the teams this way so that everyone, including compliance, is in the team. Yeah. So they're called cross-functional teams. How do we do that? We'll talk about that too. Now let's talk about leaders and managers. So how many in the room here are managers in some form or other. It doesn't matter which level, where, what, everything. Yeah, some level or the other. Okay, so quite a few. So what do they do? While these teams are working agile and doing stand-ups, what do the leaders do? So let's look at what the leaders do. So organizing a group of people to achieve a common goal is the best definition I've seen of leadership. It's simple and it's powerful. So what's the first thing you have to do in this? Define the common goal. Where are you going? So in that part, you must have a clear strategy. Yeah, and some say, yeah, of course we have a strategy, but is it clear? Is it clear? Yeah, you think, yeah. Does everybody see it exactly the same way? This is a tricky picture, isn't it? You go, ooh, what is that? Which side is the car going? That's how our strategy is sometimes. Yeah, it's there, but yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, so the first thing you have to do is use these agile techniques and the agile practices that we're going to show you. We've got a design pattern for doing strategy. It's called the strategy pattern. Yeah, so leaders can use this strategy pattern to actually come up with the mission, the vision, the goals, the blockers. You see, you are here, but you want to go there. And in between, there's all these roadblocks. How do you get there? You have to make a strategy. I go this way, or I go this way, or I go underneath. Maybe I go over it. This is choice. Strategy is about choice. Yeah, and to make the best choice, you have to work collaboratively. You have to get the wisdom of the group together. Yeah, so there's a pattern, an agile pattern to do this. Yeah, and then cascade it down. Now, the next thing, once you've got that as a team, what you need to do is you need to structure your teams. A leader has to structure the teams based on those agile principles. Yeah, so cross-functional teams, small teams, empowered. So when I did the presentation in Bangalore, it was quite interesting. There was a lady who put up her hand and said, yes, I know, but I'm a team of 10. I've got 2 people in Bangalore, 1 in Calcutta, 2 in China, 1 in New York, 1 in LA, and that's the team. Totally distributed. Does that make sense? Why was it set up that way? Well, I don't know. That's why they told us you have this person in Calcutta. That's it. So this structuring the teams, making sure the right resources are in the right place at the right time is very much a leadership job. You get this right, 80% of your problem is solved. Then you have to remove bottlenecks and eliminate waste. Now, while the teams are working, yeah, the leaders are on the job. They're not in the job. Yeah. So what they're doing is actually they're visualizing the work. Remember I told you all these people working? The leaders are helping to visualize it. So everyone, including the team, can see the picture, the value stream map of how work is flowing. What are the measures? Where are the bottlenecks? How do you eliminate waste? Why are you doing that process? Does it make any sense to do that? Yeah. And because teams work in silos, you have different departments, the process flows like this. But the teams are structured like this. Is that right? Yeah? So the leaders have to get together to optimize the process because the teams can't. The teams are stuck in the silo. They can optimize their bit, but they can't optimize across the silo. So that's where the leaders get together and they're working, and we'll show you. So that is a pattern called the operations pattern that the leaders can learn on how to do this. And Genbutsu is go see the real thing. In the old days, we used to call this management by walking around. You may have recognized that. So it was thought in the 80s. Yeah? And what does it mean? It means don't rely on your person, your subordinate, to give you all the information. Just go and see. Walk. Visit the teams. See the walls. And that's why we make it visual. See the bullseye. What is that issue there? Because what happens over time, we sanitize the information. The team has a problem, let's just change that word. Then they change this word. So you get what is called watermelon projects. It's very green on the outside and it's red inside. Yeah. So it goes, everything is very nice and green because it's been sanitized. Yeah. So you have to walk and go see the real thing. The other thing that the leaders have to do is that they have to govern for greatness. Now, this is the most important job. If you allow too much of work to hit the team, because everybody, demand is demand more than supply here? Demand for work. Yeah, of course. If you don't throttle the funnel, your teams will drown. Yeah, and they say, yeah, we're busy. Yeah, we're busy. They're not going to stop working. They'll keep working, but the productivity will go like this. And you won't even see it. Yeah. So very important that the managers throttle the funnel and do it visually. Yeah. And then, of course, they also have to provide steerage and talk to HR, people management. They have to look at governing the work and providing guidance. And the last one that leaders have to do is drive innovation. Now, this is not about taking the Pharaoh's whip. We shall innovate. Innovate. No, that won't work. So to innovate, you have to create an environment where people learn. That's all. Create an exciting work environment, empower the teams, sharing, learning, encouraging people to go outside, learn from other things, rewarding them when they do that, and poof, the magic will happen automatically. Yeah? So you put them all together, inspire purpose. This is the vision, mission, goals, setting that, and cascading it down all the way. Then set up for success, right team structures, right people, managing the funnel, govern for greatness, and then finally driving innovation. So 5 things that leaders have to do using the Agile values and principles. So it's not just for teams. Agile is very much for leaders. And if they don't change the way they work, and fortunately, this is one of the few companies, maybe the only one, where right from the CEO down, from Ginny down, they're committed to working Agile. That is just enormous. You're ever so lucky to be in a company that you have top-down commitment to making this change. Do you think this is easy to do, to throttle the funnel, to change the processes? Is that easy? No, this is not easy stuff, but it's going to be done. And the leaders are going to do it because they're empowered to do it. Because it makes common sense. Everyone knows what has to be done. Now it's about getting it done.